Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Want to talk to you today about leasing trucks. Leasing trucks. Hey, I know. I've always talked about it being a bad thing. I do think you should control your asset. I do think that for sure. If you can find a truck that's a decent price and you can finance it outside of your carrier, I will tell you 100 times out of 100, you'll be happy you did it. You'll be happy you did it. But with equipment shortages the way they are and financing being ridiculous right now, you may look at financing through a carrier. I hate to say it. Here would be my criteria to help you out. If you are going to lease a truck through a carrier, here is my advice to you. Number one, no mileage pay. Don't do the $1 a mile, the $1.20 a mile. I don't care if they offer you 99 cents a gallon fuel. That's a ripoff anyway if you do the math on it. That's all gimmick. You know, Hirschbach does that. That's all gimmick. Don't get into these $1 a miles. Stay away from the mega carriers if at all possible. Percentage base. Get percentage base. Get a decent truck at a decent price. Don't go to these carriers that going to charge you the price of the truck over 3 years, and then when the 3 years is up, they're going to want $40,000-$50,000 balloon payment, or you can give them the truck back and they can sell it at Pedigree Truck Sales for $70,000 or $80,000. Not naming no names, but those companies do that type of thing. Stay away from those carriers, in my opinion. Now, if you go back and watch some of my Craigslist job search, because I know the first thing everybody's going to ask me is, oh, if you say don't do it through the mega carriers, who should you do it through? You should do it through someone you've done the research on and you like. That's what I would say. But if you want to go back and watch some of my Craigslist job search videos, there are some companies in there leasing trucks, that don't seem to be horrible. Some smaller mid-sized carriers. Just do some research. That's the main thing. You're never going to be mad at yourself for doing more research. Because let's face it, equipment is short right now. You're not going to the auction and finding, $20,000 deals at the auction right now. You're not going to find, I got connections at truck dealerships. I've bought multiple trucks in my life. Ain't nobody cutting no deals right now. They know times are tough and they got to get their money when they can get it because they're not selling new trucks. So they got to make their money on what little used ones they get. That's the deal right now. That's what's going on. So, think long-term versus short-term as well. I made myself a few notes here. That's what I keep looking at. Long-term versus short-term, If you can find a company that will lease you a truck that you will actually own one day, I would say that's a positive. A lot of these Chicagoland area companies, I'm looking at the back of one right now over there, MB Global. Places like that, they'll rent you a truck, but you're going to pay like $1,400 a week, and you're never going to own that truck. Now, that's all in cost most of the time, but think of that when you're thinking of leasing a truck from a carrier. Will I ever own that truck? If I'm paying $1,000 a week on that bad boy, will I ever own that truck? What's the odds of me owning it? And a lot of these places, they just get trucks through the Freightliner lease or Ryder or something like that, and then they pass that cost on to you. So think long term versus short term, and make sure before you lease a truck from a carrier, ask yourself, will I be making more leasing a truck from a carrier than I will from just being a good company driver? Will I make more money? Because if you're not, just be the company driver. There's no shame in being a company driver. There are going to be a lot of people getting into being an owner-operator at this time that are going to be upside down in a truck, and, you're at the top end of the market. Now, I'm not saying the market's coming down, but I'm saying who knows what's going to happen. It could go down just as much as it could go up. So keep that in mind. Long-term versus short-term. Think of the overall cost, too, and that's why I tell you to stay away from the mega carriers. The overall cost of the truck. You don't want to pay $250,000 for an international LT, guys. Um, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it at this rate. Um, and if you pay $1,000 a week for 5 years, that's about what you're paying. If you go to one of these places that charge you $1,200-$1,300 a week, that's 50 grand a year on a truck. Is it worth it? 50 grand a year just to lease a truck? Who knows? But for me, um, there's some carriers out there that are like small to mid-sized carriers that offer some leases on trucks that seems like it could work to me. Now, you'll have to do the research. I'm not going to tell you any names because I find them. I go through the Craigslist job search. You don't even have to do it. Watch my videos, Craigslist job search. Every week I go through and we see carriers that are leasing trucks. So they're out there. They're out there. You just got to do the research. But my goals, if it were me, here's what I would be looking for. Smaller to mid-sized carrier that's got a decent track record. Probably not a new truck. I wouldn't want to lease a new truck. I'd be looking for something I could own in 2 to 3 years. Percentage based would be like I wouldn't even don't even talk to me about a mileage rate. Unless the mileage rate's like $2 a mile, who cares? I don't understand how in this day and age you can offer $1.05 a mile on a lease purchase. I mean, there's good companies. There's reputable companies out here paying 65, 70 cents a mile now. You know what I mean? Like, how can you say you're making more at, making 40, 50 cents more a mile? You can operate a new truck for 50 cents a mile? I don't think you can. I think you'd make more money just being a good company driver right now than you can with a mega carrier lease purchase. But, I'm sure I'll take the heat off of that one. Anytime you talk negative about that, boy, you take some real heat on YouTube because it's like these people got Stockholm syndrome and whatnot. But I don't care. Leave me 5 comments about it for all I care. You're just helping my algorithms out when you do that, just so you know. But that would be what I'd be looking for. Somewhat reputable. I would call them. I would talk to them. I'd get to know them. I'd go down and meet them before I signed or thought about anything. You know what I mean? And if you can't afford to take a week off of work and go talk to a company, rent a car, drive down there, see what's going on, you ain't got enough money to start a business. I would say 5 to 10 grand at least before you get into one of these, even if it's a walk away lease. And always keep yourself a buffer of a couple $1,000 just in case things don't work out. You can go somewhere else and get a job. Don't ever let them take you down to your last penny. If it ain't working, get out. I did a lease purchase from Western Express. I speak from experience. I can tell you right now, 3 weeks into it, hell, the first week I knew I had to get out of there. I said, ain't no money here. I got to get out of here. So, I wrote it out for a week or two. I didn't make jack while I was there. I did a lot of hard work for them. And then 3 weeks later, I left and they didn't give me my last paycheck. So, and I took their truck back to their terminal, by the way. So, it ain't like I did anything bad. It's just how those big mega carriers are. So, we're talking reputable, small reputable, 100, 200, 300 trucks, which ain't small, but something like that or smaller, percentage based, preferably not a new truck, not like I'm renting a truck that's being rented. I don't want to rent a truck. I want to buy that thing. I want equity. Why am I making $1,000 payment every week and I'm getting zero equity? That is not me. Just not. I wouldn't be doing it. I'm not buying a truck for some mega carrier so they can starve me out at the end and then proceed to sell that truck to another guy for exactly what I already paid on it. No. We're not playing that game. But with the equipment shortage, I'm not as like stone cold against getting a truck through a carrier right now. But I'm definitely not promoting get it through a mega carrier. It works sometimes, but if you look at the numbers, it's just, you know, it's not the most financially responsible way to get a truck. Some people make it work, more power to them, but it's the percentage of success is not in your favor, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But that's my thoughts on leasing equipment right now. If you have to, I understand equipment shortages, all that good stuff, but do it wisely, you know. Just do it wisely. That way maybe you'll own that truck one day. Maybe. Hopefully. But that's it, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. If you could, hit that thumbs up for me. If you want to watch more of my videos, click on one of these other videos. And until later, take care of each other. And as I always say, keep on trucking. Come on. Later, everybody.